Hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix of the Smoke Room. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, it's available for free on itch.io, and if you want to support the people that make this game and or get the newest version earlier, then you can go to Patreon, $3 a month. So, on the last Let's Play, we actually have notes. Huxley Green is dead, and his body was found and frozen, decapitated with ripping force, as you can see, among us. Where was the body found? Ask Todd later. Cliff, and then we, went to go see how Cliff's doing. Anyways, Cliff claims Reed tried to break into his apartment. Then Cliff worked, and we found out that Cliff works with James for CGCS. And Cliff's real name is Cornelis. He claims he doesn't have his work permit. And yeah, we brought him to the station. Hyena. That makes things a lot easier. Let's make sure my face is more or less correct. Do you like this music too? This game has some flippin' good music. Anyways, I feel like I'm in the calm of the hurricane before the storm comes. Calm of a hurricane, you mean like the center? I'm in the calm of a hurricane. Or maybe the calm before the hurricane? I don't know. I think I was right about the disaster following this weasel, but I don't think that he's the only one stirring up trouble by far. Considering the way Huxley died, and with Cliff having ties to James, I'm almost certain now that the rats didn't place a hit on the stoat. But if that's the case, then how did he get the gun? And if Cliff is telling the truth, then why was Reed trying to break into his apartment? Did they plan the hit together, and then something happened to Mr. Green before he lost the gun? Maybe. I really have the problem that I need to focus on, which is reading but not actually bringing it in, but I have to do a bit of both, and I guess it kind of slows it down a bit for us. I have to have a chat with Reed again before I have any reason to believe he has that much spite. Now, Reed's the wolf guy, right? Because as of now, that still don't make much sense to me. I pinned down Reed as the guy willing to get his own hands dirty. Or to start shit when he's bored. You could definitely beat a man to death in broad daylight if you were mad and drunk enough. But plotting a murder while sober? It's not a sober thing for him to do. I just can't see it. If the two of them already jumped this weasel in broad daylight, then what's the point of giving a kid a traceable gun to take care of him in secret? Maybe they just fucked it up. Simple as that. Case closed. But then how did he get his goddamn head severed? I have more than a few things to consider now. I could go to the mayor and have a little chat about how things are going. And I think he's also a rat. Any time, really. He spends most of his time in his office doing nothing when there isn't a ribbon to cut or a speech to unload. He has no real jurisdiction over me. Or I could go to the stag that Nick and the Barnes boy keep bringing up from time to time. It's the biggest men's club in town. And more importantly, I know the mining union tends to congregate there. Perhaps a suggestion to go wouldn't be a waste of time after all. Tricky thing is, wherever I go first will take all day. Oh, is this going to be a choice again? If I want Nick's help at the stag, it will have to be at night. Nick's help at this. But if I want more private audience with the mayor, and I don't want Nick there at the stag with me, I should probably go to the stag first. I mean, I think Nick would be good, because, we're kind of the odd man out, right? Regardless, I shouldn't stall. I wonder what folks at the stag might have to offer. Wait, there's a next? I should go to City Hall. I'd have to assume go to the City Hall first, right? What's the thing? Will take all day, like day? It's kind of weird that like going to the mayor's office during the day would take all day. Like when we just go there, be like, "What's up?" Wouldn't it so? I mean, that seems better because it's not supposed to be busy, right? So City Hall first, then the stag. All right, I'm off to see Mayor Testerman. I wonder if when I choose the other guys, if I'm going to be, being in their perspective like I am with William. Are you still able to keep watch over everything while I'm gone, Todd? I'll eat these pies! I mean, sure thing. Did I hear you were paying old friends another visit? Why, that's basically an honor. Not really. He just wants me to ask whether or not the city is close to a state of emergency. That sounds like him, alright. Old friends always looks out for us. Seems like only yesterday, when I was a pup, he gave an old woman Willowsby his own jacket on Easter Sunday. I remember how she had her feet turn so cold. She had her feet turn so cold? What? And then the doctors paid her a house call. They said she nearly died. But she dreamed about Franz. In her dreams, he was an angel, William. And he brought her back from the cold while she was asleep. So you're saying he did the bare minimum that most people would do for an old woman, and then took credit for saving her life? Well, the Lord works in mysterious ways, William. I think you could argue that he pretty much did save her life, no matter how you look at it. This poor man. That's nice, Todd. A lot of things are nice when you just stop to think about them. These things hast thou done, and I keep silenced. Thou thoughtest that I altogether such as one as thyself, but I will reprove thee and set them in order of thine eyes, before thine eyes. Sam is staring down to the pocket Bible. They had pocket Bibles back then? He looks angry. Now consider this, ye that forget God, lest he tear you into pieces, and there be gone into Delver, none to Delver. Psalm 50, 21, 22. I prefer, Ezekiel 20, 23, or is it 23, 20? For she lusted after men who had genitals the size of a donkey and emissions the size of a horse. Or maybe it was the other way around. He shuts the pages between his paws with a crisp snap. You sound like a genuine preacher man, Sam. Well, I'm not. I just thought it was an important thing to share. I admit I need to brush up on my Old Testament, but the way you said it, that made me feel like I was sweating in the pews. You never read the Book of Mormon? Any of the Book of Mormon? Oh God, you're not a Mormon, are you? Sam still looks a bit mad, and Oak Cliff looks uncomfortable. Are you gonna have a harem of otters? Ooh. Though Sam might have a harem. Well, I'll leave this thrilling theological conversation to both of you. Bye. Sam sure is invested in the Bible. You think he sucked off enough men to put off by all the bitching about adultery, but he keeps getting wrapped up in all that metaphysics. Wait, I don't think metaphysics is the right word. I know why he's mad at Todd. Todd believes in a loving, affectionate God. Sam believes in a wrathful God. It's like he wants there to be something real that he can be afraid of. Alright, I think that's enough church for me today. Ooh, nice town hall. Locals here in town say that you should buy wagon trains. Yeah, something feeling like Oregon Trail too. Good game. Downtown is always so wide and open when I go there. The wind picks up between the tall buildings and makes the wooden shutters rattle. It's the closest reminder of my city. Other than the bars after dark. Bars always have the same sticky smell. Sticky? No matter where you are in the world. I expected to run into Judge Miller, or Clerk Christy Smalls, or somebody filling their liquor license, filing. Hey, it's that guy. But I see instead is Reed Morris. You stop that right there, Reed. Oh god fucking damn it. I have some questions for you. I don't have any time for your flippant ass today. That's not how this works. Keep your hands where I can see them, and don't make a scene. Why? Am I under arrest for the 15th fucking time? I guess it depends. It would be just like old times. We're used to each other by now. You gonna fill me up like a fucking faggot? Or strip me of my rights again? I mean, me and my friends sometimes say fag, but not faggot. Kinda sticks on my tongue, especially like when you're doing it for friends, it's like, eh. But if you're like doing it, you know, on YouTube, it's like, I don't know. Also, it looks like he has a black eye. You're the one who's thinking that, not me. Go ruin somebody else's day, you ugly son of a bitch. Cut the shit. Did you break into Mr. Tippett's apartment last night or not? He looks guilty. There's a whole lot more to it than that. So, you're not even trying to lie about it? That fucking fruit did something to Huxley. I goddamn know that he did. And what if he didn't read? He just went off to beat his door down like a goddamn lunatic. Lunatic? He started some shit, he got his ass beat, and he took revenge on my friend. And I'm sure as hell not gonna trust your shady ass to lift a finger over it, because you don't even like me in the first place. I need to stop talking for a few minutes and start listening. Some kid tried to shoot up my office 2 nights ago using Huxley's pistol. His revolver? He pawned it. Anybody could have bought it. Not a 15-year-old without a job and no parents. Sales records indicate he bought it back. Now he's sweating. According to Mr. Reed, Huxley's gun was pawned. Sales records indicate Huxley repurchased it. Marcy may know what happened to the gun. It's in a pie. So what was Reed up to if he didn't place a hit on Cliff? Now Reed, not this guy. I think. What? That's a hell of a lot of evidence that could implicate the two of you for attempted murder, damaging government property, and endangering the life of 2 officers. Hell, that's more than enough to string you up. Okay, this Reed. We didn't do none of that. I don't think you did either, you dumb asshole. He blinks and looks confused. Breaking and entering is unacceptable, and you will pay for that crime in time. But just talk with me for a bit, and I'll have it so you won't have to spend the rest of the day in jail. Okay, shoot. Why did he pawn the gun in the first place? He was having money troubles. And why is that? A man with troubles is gonna drink. Huxley was an alcoholic who needed more money for his drinking habit. I wonder where he's getting that cash, or was. A little too much, maybe? That's rich, based on what I hear about you. I can afford my drinks, Reed. That made him... What made him live beyond his means? He has problems. Had problems. But I don't think you can handle that yet. Yeah, I know. I saw what his problems did to Marcy. What? You think she doesn't like it that way too? Ooh. Ouch. His greasy fur bends into a slow, crackled smile, and his eyes wrinkle. His moldy cotton smell reminds me of how my father smelled at his wake, and it makes me want to puke up bile. But now that I think about it, he was acting different lately. Different? How? Longer hours at the bank. Sounded paranoid. Of Mr. Tibbets? No, Tibbets just made him laugh. He wasn't scared at all of that mouthy little fairy. Okay, so why are you guys getting revenge if you're like, he's just somebody to laugh at? Now something's troubling him. Like, he's starting to get it. He kept talking about buying back that pistol, like he was gonna need it to defend himself soon, but I thought he hadn't yet. And this was after you both had your quarrel with Mr. Tibbets? No, this was happening before. So, who would have had an eye on the gun? Had an eye on the gun. Marcy would know where to hide it. He always kept it close to her. Marcy may know what happened to the gun. It's baked in a pie. Of course he did. So maybe a chat with Marcy would have been a little smarter than tearing down Mr. Tibbets' apartment then, huh? May I go now? Sure, but I don't want to see you 100 yards within the stoat, or we're gonna have ourselves more punctual problem. I don't give a damn if he didn't take the gun. But if Marcy says they did take it, I'll kill him. Now, the stoat took the gun, or the rat took the gun, or the stoat took it from the rat? Just somebody to ask somebody to shoot him? Maybe. Brilliant. That would make a whole lot of sense. I'll find out soon enough anyway. He turns away and walks stiffly into the alley. Don't think I won't come looking for you later, when it's time to pay repair costs for the apartment. He flips me the bird. What a living waste of space if I ever saw one. But at least I know who to visit later. Marcy Green might be the key to all of this after all, even if her husband played no part in trying to kill somebody. Maybe Huxley thinks he was acting a little paranoid when he bought back the gun. But considering his current state, it sounds like he was right to be afraid. Who's strong enough to rip a head clean off a body? Okay, so it wasn't sawed off, it was just actually ripped? That's just another question for later. Yeah, we got time. Town hall is predictably empty on a Monday. Most town meetings are on Saturdays, and that's also when people tend to pick up their licenses. Chrissy isn't at the reception right now, but I've been through these halls so much I won't need to wait for her. Well, goodness gracious, if it isn't my favorite public servant. So that's why Franz called today. Shaking the mayor down for favors again? Well, what else is a mayor good for anyway? Like favors from it? I don't know. I'd have to actually think of the words. He's very grateful to have more things to do. Besides, bearing fangs is more your line of work, is it not? Only when I have to. Of course, of course. You've had ample time to practice burying your guilt in somebody's butt. I'm not talking to you because I want to make merry and exchange quips. I know something that could help you, and I'm willing to trade information. Well, why didn't you say so? And here I thought you were just talking to me to pout about the ex-wife. Okay, he wouldn't be talking so much of a... He'd be more of like an Eastern Southerner, not more of a Southern Southerner, you know? Like, I don't know, plantation owner, I'd have to assume. Oh, we'll be having a talk about that too. Then why not move our conversation to the city library? It's a perfect place to be sharing information for men with noble character. I still have to talk to the mayor. James rolls his eyes. He's always available. So are you? Now there's a private fancy. Since you have such a great sense of humor, I make sure to dally at the library so that you can catch me there. Feel free to speak with the mayor first if you insist. Until then, Sheriff. I could follow up on James's offer. But then again, I'm already here. What should I do right now? I feel like the mayor doesn't particularly have much information, you know? And then also, the mayor is always available. So James, the information shared among noble souls? And here I thought we were a couple of bastards. At least I can understand that. Pitiful. The library is big, but it's pretty underutilized. Because, well, let's face it, not a lot of people here like to read. Which you think that'd be kind of weird, because, like, what else is there to do? I mean, yeah, if you're... Well, I guess in the non-working times of the year, if you're a farmer, then there's lots of free time. But it's like, it's definitely a thing which, like, besides alcoholism, what are you going to be doing in this town? Oh, did I accidentally skip something? Let me read. Yeah, okay. Which I don't entirely get, considering how little there's to do. There we go. It doesn't take long to find him. He's reading a newer book, by the looks of it. Dumb Blinders by James Joyce. His bodyguards were sitting in a corner, flipping through magazines. Let's keep this quick. Don't act so suburban, Mr. Adler. There is a treasure trove of knowledge all around you. Enjoy yourself. Not interested. You really did bring Hattie here. Why? My, you're so accusatory. That's because I'm accusing you of something. You're wrong too, you know. He flipped a page and began at the beginning of another short story. Araby. She's the one who reached out to me, not the other way around. I only did it for what I did for you. Did it for her for what I did for you. She just needs some money to stay on her feet, to orient herself in someplace new. How generous of you. I am gracious. We're generous. Generous? Yeah. When it's inconvenient for me, sure. Why'd you tell her where I live? Now that I can't talk about. Did you generosity suddenly run dry? No, I mean I simply don't know. Or shit. Why would I need to lie? I genuinely don't know, and that's going to put you in the most amusing little tizzy. But how about granting me some of your generosity now? Share. I guess you'll have to ask yourself why somebody would try to assassinate one of your business associates. He lifted his eyebrow. Which? The little fellow, which goes by the name of Clifford Tibbets. He hummed. Well, that's not good at all. He's such a card, and much more fun than you. What kind of cat would put their hands on such a dignified boy? I'll have to keep a much closer eye on him from now on. I could help you with that. Your stalwart sense of justice really is invigorating. I always knew deep down you liked me. It takes a lot of willpower not to rip that book out of his hands and beat him with it. So help me understand. Well, let's see. As is typical of your older horses, too many of them tend to keep very old-fashioned ideas. Older workhorses. Workhorse? They might not approve of a foreigner in a higher-ranking consultation position, particularly the men closest to my most important business partner, Mr. Briggs. And Mr. Briggs, who is he again? Don't we have a notebook thingy? Come on, man. Work harder, please. Also, what's with the D? I guess that's a sigh. And do you have any names of these men? No, really. There's simply too many, and they're all very close-minded. But it shouldn't be too complicated to pick them out from a crowd. They tend to smell like raw earth, after all. He snaps the book shut. If it wasn't one of them, then I'm out of ideas. No book. Could a CGCS employee place the hit on Cliff? Or was it somebody else? Being all sneaky-like. Then again, that one does have a bleeding heart. I wouldn't be surprised if he spilled his guts out to some savage and they took it the wrong way. You stop speaking. Now. Oh, don't be so sensitive, Adler. I'm not a monster. And I don't begrudge you for the primal blood on your mother's side. In fact, I think you're the best of two worlds. The raw and the refined. I see a pebble on the table. I pick it up and flick it at his cheek. Then flick it at his cheek. Oh, what the fuck? Am I bleeding? Oh, damn. He is. I hope it stings, you son of a bitch. I don't know. I don't think a pebble would cause bleeding if you just flicked it at somebody on a cheek. His guards rush over, but he puts his hand up to make them stop. He smiles real big at me. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. He waves at me with his bloody hand. Until next time. Always an affable time. It doesn't take too long for James and his men to clear out of the library. I never cared for... Joyce? Who's Joyce? I made James bleed. It was funny. Oh, my cheek. Where's Baroness Orczy when I need her? So there aren't people who would have a motive to hurt Mr. Tibbets. What should you do right now? Well, there's only one thing to do. Talk to the mayor. Let's get this over with then. But I feel like... Well, I'd have to assume this would be short, right? Give me a sec, too. Sorry, it was like, well, I should probably clear my throat. I step into Testerman's office. The big rat is peeking away from his typewriter, but he stands up when he sees me. Well, it's about time, Adler. There are some road bumps in the way, but I'm here. There were. Hendricks was threatening to cut off all sorts of donation money if we don't set things right, fast. I start laughing. What in the Lord's name is funny about that? Let's start with the essentials. The mining operation continues to place blame on CGCS management for the death of this particular miner. No, wait. Is CGCS the RAM guy, or is he... So wait, it's like a CGCS like the miners and... Is he CGS or the miner CGCS? Or CGCS some kind... I don't know. Tension is calm on the surface, but resentment brews below. Deputy Bronson found another dead body last night. His expression changes from one of anxiety to one of sheer panic. Another miner? No. This one's a banker. I see relief wash over him. So, this wasn't related to the other case then? The man's still dead, Mr. Testman. He starts mumbling to himself. Oh, sometimes it can't be helped. Men take all sorts of risk to make it out here. Not everybody can. There are fights, freak accidents, hasty decisions, accompanied by immoral acts. His head was ripped off. Oh, so probably an animal. Could be. Though what are animals in this universe anyways? Besides, like, I don't know, fish and maybe birds? I mean, there are lizard people. Definitely mammals. Now I feel a lot better. Are you sure that you should? I didn't say that it was a mammal for certain. Animal. Do any of your discoveries call for a state of emergency evacuation? I wouldn't say so. Okay, where do you all evacuate to? Unless this death isn't an isolated incident. I have reasonable suspicion to think that it could be linked to a targeted attack on one of the CGCS employees. But you just have suspicions. No proof. That's what you said, right? That would be right. But odds are, I think that it would be kind not to sensationalize a tragedy. It's weird when I try to, cut myself off because, that's what people do, but then I can't read the bloody sentence. He looks in my eyes as if he's looking for approval for what he's about to say. Would it? I think that should always be a priority. What I'm telling you is that whatever it is, it probably ain't over, and it probably ain't isolated from CGCS affairs. So you might want to prepare a statement ahead of the time if things go to hell in a handbasket and you don't want to be caught with your britches down. I think I would prefer to be optimistic about the future, Mr. Adler. Just keep me informed about the present, please. Okay then. There are presently some signs of very clear scandals at that company that will make their way to the surface soon. That company is our lifeblood, Adler. Well, that's fine, but ignoring it won't make it all go away. But isn't it your job to prevent a state of panic? I'm saying that if all these problems go back to CGCS management, then the panic is just going to keep coming back like clockwork. The CGCS, that would have to be the mine guy. But you still need proof before you can brandy these claims. I swear to God, this man is as thick as pig shit. I didn't make claims. I shared suspicions. Let me make something very clear to you, Franz Testerman. I don't work for you, but if you ask me for help and aren't willing to take it, there's not much I can do for you. I do think this could lead to a public crisis, so I think you should prepare for that. Also, that is a humongous desk. And I'll tell you something, Mr. Adler. I will say this once, and I will say it 100 times over. Wait, I'll say it once, I'll say it. Okay. I must see evidence before I'm swayed to act. Why is that so hard for you to accept? The more I look at this into this man's eye, the more I know he has no interest in evidence. He'll see what he wants to see when he needs to see it to be true. Do you already have a contingency plan in place for evacuating a population of over 6,000 then? Wow, this town was 6,000? And Echo was like a couple of hundred. Maybe not even that. There's predicaments in place, or proceedments? I guess proceedments in place if such need arrives. And you've practiced them? Once again, I will not disrupt daily routines on a basis of an assertion. Alright, this is going nowhere. Then, let's conclude this meeting. I turn around and put my hand on the knob. Ooh. Wait. Yes? Do you really think things are that bad? Yes. He wipes his brow with a kerchief. I could review their evacuation plans, but quietly and without getting the public involved. But just keep a backup plan. I still have no intention of officiating an evacuation. That's what I've been saying, Testerman. That's better than nothing. I have to go now. You'll keep me updated then? I'll call if it's important. What a headache. I think I've learned all that I could. That's just enough of this place for now. And with that, I'm gonna call it. Because, we're at time, or overtime. And that was a switch. Oh, now we're back to main character Sam, I think. Unless we are, the pie eater. But yeah. It's a problem that I tried to do with this game, because it's like, I want to know more, but it's also like, I can only read so much before, I can only read a sentence one word at a time, which ain't good for trying to read to people. But yeah, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, what are we evacuating from? Like, are we evacuating the town because of like a murderer? It's kind of weird. Where are we gonna evacuate to? Like, are we evacuating only certain people? Like, as opposed to leaving the CGCS people here? I don't know. Oh well, I guess we might find out. That's going to be for another Let's Play. So anyways, the end of this one. So please comment, because I like comments, so much you like, dislike, tips, tricks, otherwise. If you like my YouTube and like to see grow, then please like, subscribe, and check out the rest of grow. And please remember spaying your animals to help control the pit population. And if you want to play this game, free on itch.io, and if you want to support the people that made this game and or get the most up-to-date version earlier, then you can go to their Patreon, $3 a month. And until next time, I'll say, me, GamerWolfSix of the Smoke Room. So thanks and see ya.